Be confident, be bold, be authentic, but don't forget to take action. This is Ordinary to Badass, where our stories empower women to step into the spotlight of their own lives and pursue what they're truly passionate about. It's time to step into the arena and become more than just extraordinary. It's time to become a badass with your host, Marie Sonneman.
Welcome to Ordinary to Badass, episode number 147. In this episode, I'm going to share 3 reasons why Kathrin is so badass. Last episode, 146, I talked to Kathrin. She is a transpersonal psychologist, a mother, a poet, and a truth seeker. We had such a great conversation, so if you missed it, go back and listen, or if you're short on time, catch this here, 3 reasons why Kathrin is so badass. Now, before we get to the episode, I would so appreciate it if you went on to iTunes and left a 5-star rating and review. This way, other badasses just like you can find the show. And if that's not your jam, then share the episode with a friend. That would be cool too. If you think that this could make an impact or help somebody that you know, definitely share it with a friend. And usually on your podcast app, there's 3 little dots on the top right-hand corner. And you can click that and then get the link to the show and text message it to a friend or email it to a friend. All right. With that, let's get to the episode. Welcome to Ordinary to Badass. Whether you're ordinary or badass, I'm so glad you're here. Today, I'm going to share 3 reasons why Kathrin Fox is so badass. Here, I'll give you the 3 reasons now, and then we can get to it and break them down a little bit. So the 3 reasons. First, Kathrin lives a values-based life. Second, she doesn't get stuck in perfectionism. Third, she went through the loss of a child, and here she is today, still being badass, and just persevered through it. All right, let's get to it. So, Kathrin knows her values, and then she asks herself questions like, what does it mean to live that value? How does this look? How does this experience? She uses these values to look at things in her life, like her relationships and her job. And man, I think that's so important. Now, I have to be honest, I don't know that I've ever tried it. I don't know that I think, oh, these are my values, and this is how it lines up, but I think it's pretty cool. And I think it could, as her and I talked about it, she said it can give you confidence, right? It can make you more decisive. You can just start answering questions because you know what your values are. And maybe if you have them laid out right in front of you, like on paper, it makes it easier to dig in or to embrace that because you're like, nope, I already know. That doesn't align with value number 1. Or value number 2, whatever your 5 values are. So what are your values? What is the most important to you in your life? Are you making decisions based on your values? If things in your life feel out of alignment or out of whack and something just feels wrong, maybe it's about realigning with your values. Right? Or maybe if you're struggling with confidence or struggling making decisions, then you say, okay, let me do this. Let me take advice from Kathrin and figure out my 5 values. I'm just saying 5. I don't know that she said 5, but let me look at the values that are most important to me in my life, and then let me make decisions based on those. And see if that does anything for you. See if that helps you become more decisive, feel more confident, or feel like you don't have this weight on your shoulders. Because if you're making decisions that don't align with your values, then you're probably going to feel stressed or anxious, right? So it could be an easy fix. So if you're feeling out of alignment or something just isn't feeling right in your life, write down your values and then use that to make your decisions, or use that as your filter for things. Like, would this align with my value of honesty, of integrity? No? Okay, cool. I'm not going to do it. Easy peasy. For some reason, that seems to be my word of the day. Easy peasy. So cool. I know. All right. The second reason why I think Kathrin Fox is so badass is because she doesn't get stuck in the perfectionism. Now, she said it was easy for her to get stuck in being a perfectionist, trying to do all the things right, trying to get it perfect. Kathrin said that she realizes that her perfectionism paralyzes her so that she's not able to do anything. And she's just very slow to respond. So now she doesn't even put up with it. She's like, nope, not going to do it. Because she said if she gets into the perfectionism, then she's going to start going down the rabbit hole and telling herself she's not enough. Man, the words you say to yourself are so stinking powerful. And I know I've said that before. I know that you've heard it before. But man, and I'm talking to myself as much as I'm talking to you. It's like we can talk so bad to ourselves. It's like with friends like you, who needs an enemy? We really should love ourselves more than anybody else. And not in a selfish way. And if somebody calls it selfish, that's on them. But really, there's nothing wrong with having pride and love in who you are and what you're trying to accomplish. And you have to love yourself. Otherwise, you're going to be taken advantage all your life, right? So I don't think it's selfish at all to practice self-love and to find those things. Like Kathrin said, perfectionism is what puts her down a rabbit hole and makes her feel like she's not enough. So find those things in your life. What is it for you? Are you trying to be perfect? Are you afraid of making a mistake? Sometimes it's our obsessing over the problem that creates the problem. And I know that sounds crazy, but I don't know about you, but I can easily start dwelling on something that I do or something that I say and then get sucked into it. But be aware of what your triggers are. I don't feel like I'm coming up with great examples today, but we'll roll with it, right? But whatever your triggers are that make you feel like you are not enough, be aware of those. And then find some sort of self-care, self-love thing that you can do for yourself to get out of it. Or, better yet, just sit with it. Just sit with it. Sit with your feelings and just let them kind of go through and just be an observer. Just be an observer of your thoughts and your feelings, but your thoughts aren't actually true, right? They're just something that you think. So just being able to sit there for a second, I shut my eyes, and listen and be like, oh, that's interesting. And then move on. And I think that's been something I've been working on at least for the past 5 years. And nowhere am I close to being perfect or good at it even, but it's a work in progress. And I do know or notice that it helps you feel better. So whatever that thing is for you that makes you feel like you're not enough, don't get stuck in it. And I thought it was so badass that Kathrin learned how to maneuver or get around her perfectionism, because she knows that just does not work for her. It doesn't put her in a good place. All right, let's get to number 3. So Kathrin talked about, in the episode, she talked about losing her child. It was tough. She learned from it and grew from it. And she said, for a long time, she just couldn't stop grieving. Like, she was so enveloped in the grief. And she really had to feel those emotions. She said it crippled her or had her on her knees. It was just so hard to overcome that pain. But man, the fact that she did overcome it is amazing. It's freaking amazing. Because that is a hard thing. That's something no mother, no father should ever have to go through, is dealing with the loss of a child. But she went through it and she learned some stuff through it. She talked about how she was always in her masculine energy before. And then this time, after that happened, she had to tap into her feminine energy and do things differently than she had ever done before. Here's the thing. She easily could have crumbled from that whole situation, right? And I mean, in a sense, it's like you couldn't blame her if she did. You couldn't blame her if she had a tough time getting out of that dark place. But somehow she found a way to claw her way out and make some changes in her life that she thought were meaningful. So I want you to know, I know that you have been through hard things. You could be like Kathrin and you lost a child, or maybe you lost somebody else in your life, like a sibling or a parent or somebody, but it just felt like it was way too early. Or you grew up in a hard situation, hard circumstances, or life just keeps hitting you, keeps getting you down. But oh my gosh, every single one of those things that you have overcome makes you even more of a badass, because you have gotten through it and you are still standing here today. You're still listening to this podcast. You're on this earth, and it's so important. And so by the fact that you've overcome any of those hard situations, and I mean, there's a bajillion other hard situations, right? But you overcome them, any one of them. And okay, that's just another thing, just another reason why you're a badass, because you survived it, right? So consider making a list of all of the hard things that you've gone through, and keep that to remind yourself, I can do hard things, because I know that you can do hard things. But sometimes we need reminders to show us, like, okay, this happened. It doesn't have to absolutely define you, but it can make changes in your life. It can be the pivot point, kind of like Kathrin said, it was the point for her to start leaning into her feminine energy. And if you want to hear more about the masculine and feminine energy, I'm not great at explaining it. But both men have masculine and feminine energy, and women have masculine and feminine energy. If you want to know more about it, definitely go back and listen to the last episode with Kathrin, episode 146. But don't be afraid to listen to your hardships and what they teach you. Now, I will be honest, I cannot learn from a hardship right in the moment. I might try to think of something positive, but I still feel shitty, right? So sometimes you have to get a little bit of distance from that hardship because it's a little bit easier looking back on it. So like, say you wanted to run a race and you failed to complete the race and you were so disappointed in yourself. And so it just felt really sucky in the moment. Well, you probably can't appreciate the suck or what it's going to teach you in the moment. It's hard. If you can, kudos to you. But then once you get away from it, like say a month, 2, 3, a year down the line, I don't know, however long it takes, then you can be like, okay, by the fact that I didn't complete that race, then I was able to complete 10 other races because it gave me motivation to kick butt. It gave me motivation to complete the race the next time. And yeah, a race is like a simple excuse, or not an excuse, like a simple example. But you can use this with anything. And so even if you can't find it in the moment, later, down the road, then maybe you can find the silver lining or find something good that it helped you do. All right. So just a quick recap, 3 reasons why Kathrin Fox is so badass is, first, how she lives a values-based life. Second, is she doesn't get stuck in her perfectionism. And third, how she persevered after the loss of a child. So, as always, if you like Kathrin's episode or you got some value from the 3 reasons why Kathrin is badass, definitely reach out to her on Instagram. I believe it's womenrising_co, and tag me at Ordinary to Badass. So like, take a screenshot of her episode and put it on the gram in your stories and tag me and Kathrin. But let us know, what was a takeaway? What's something that you learned from what Kathrin had to say? So something you learned, something you implemented, anything like that. Because as badasses, we support the other badass women in our lives, and we all rise together. But let's give her some feedback. Let her know what you thought of the episode and what kind of impact it had on you. So again, see you on the gram. And with that, we'll end our show. To all the badass women out there staying in the arena, wherever you are, whatever you're doing, own it and get after it.
Now that you've listened to this episode of Ordinary to Badass, we want to hear from you. Go to our website, ordinarytobadass.com/podcast, and submit your own experience on how you took your life from ordinary to badass and get the chance to be on a future Spotlight episode of the show. That's ordinarytobadass.com/podcast. While you're waiting for the next episode of the show, wipe off the sweat, dust off the dirt, and get back in the arena.